So I really had to dig deep into my memories and try to remember what are some of the lessons that my dad taught me whenever I was young, because I saw him build this company up from when I was 12, 11 years old, and from the beginning, I was here already working alongside him and all that. And I would already attend some business meetings, not all of them. And I remember the first lesson he ever taught me, and I screwed the pooch quite a bit on this, a few times, is stay quiet, be quiet, no hables, cállate, no digas nada. So those were one of the first few, that was the first lesson I had to learn if I wanted to attend meetings alongside my dad. Yeah, so what's the importance of staying quiet? It has a lot of benefits, and there's a lot of good reasons as to why you should learn to be quiet, stop talking. Because nowadays in the world, everybody wants to talk, everybody wants to be heard. So if you want to become a good seller, it's no longer you have to be the one talking. No, now you have to be the one listening. That's how you sell people. It's not manipulating anymore. It's not trying to convince them. It's listen to the person that you're trying to sell to. Listen to what their needs are, where they're coming from. Listen how they think and operate. And based off of that, they're going to sell themselves to you. They're going to give you the tools you need to then be able to come back and be able to provide them values based off of what they believe in. So if you don't understand something, if you don't know the answer to something, it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to be silent. It's okay to just shut up and just hear the person out and just don't say anything. It's better to be quiet and not say anything than to say something and potentially screw it up. And this is true for even sales. Like, let's say you're not a business owner, you're just a salesperson, or you want to learn how to become a better salesperson. Learn to be quiet. The selling era is shifting in their tactics and techniques. It's no longer you have to be the one talking the whole time. Now you have to be the one listening. Listen to what their needs are. Listen to what they're looking for. These things will help you understand your customers more and then facilitate you being able to sell the value behind whatever the product is that you're trying to sell them, Stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to manipulate, which is, I use the word manipulate because I saw this in one of my comments. You're not manipulating. You're not trying to, there's not someone going to a car dealership who doesn't want a car and you have to convince them to want a car. That's not how it works. They're going there because they're in the market and they're looking, they're trying to find something that's best for them. And sometimes a salesperson, they just want to yap. They yap and yap and yap. And that's why I feel like most of them tend to lose their business. Another perfect example of learning to be quiet is one time me and my dad, we went to this meeting with a very powerful plant, one of the strongest plants in the United States. And we were there in a meeting with the top dog and like all of his managers and all that stuff. And we were talking about a problem or an issue that had occurred. Usually we're problem solvers, but this issue, we had to talk to them just to kind of tell them the processes of how we went through to solving their problem. That way they knew how to do it for themselves next time, right? Because we're a consulting company. But in this particular meeting, we were talking and my dad was trying to, kind of just get the point across, like, hey, like we had to do a lot to like make this happen. Like we're going to teach you how to do it, but you really need to get on top of your stuff. And they were talking numbers. For whatever reason, I thought it would be a good idea to inflate the numbers just to make it seem like a bigger problem than what it really was, just to kind of like prove and show like, hey, like you really need to be on top of your stuff when it comes to fixing these type of things, and it only made me end up looking more like a fool because they were on top of their numbers as well. I forgot who I was dealing with. These people are all about numbers. They're all about digits and production and saving money and all that stuff. So they're on top of these things, right? And they're a big company, so they don't mess around. And sadly, I screwed the pooch again trying to, and this is already like, I'm already, inside the company. I've been working years with my father, and this is no longer the 12-year-old me. Like, no, this is adult me now, and I still screwed the pooch, right? And luckily, my dad was able to kind of like just like brush off that number and like kind of just brush off my input and still be able to save the meeting and still give the value that they were looking for. But yeah, being quiet is something very important. I'm rarely the one trying to sell them or convince them, hey, we have the best selling pallets. Or, hey, we're really good at our job. We have high quality pallets. Are you interested in buying some from us? No. We just sit back, let him talk. We presented him with the opportunity. He put that into his mind, like, okay, these guys sell pallets as well. Start a conversation with these guys. You know what? I like this guy. I have a good time when he comes. That's not gonna convince him or sway him over, but it's a benefit. It's a benefit if he has easy access to you and be able to talk to you. If you're easily talked to, if people find it very easy to talk to you, you already have an advantage over everybody else. Because I bet you this is how his conversation goes with whatever other pallet company he's using. Hey, we're gonna need more pallets. Alrighty, we'll send it to you Thursday. Alrighty, thank you. Boom, done, donezo, right? But with us, if he wants to, hey, how you doing, Mario? Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing? How's that bee hobby you're doing? Oh, it's going great. I got new bees. Oh, that's glad to hear. No, I'm glad you're enjoying it. What can I help you with? You know, now I'm like, oh, he remembered I like bees. Oh, like, you know, it's not just a business call. It's not just, hey, I need this, boom, 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 done, done, donezo. You know, there are people who control their businesses like that. And trust me, you have to be able to adapt to whoever it is you're dealing with. Is there someone that's talkative, that likes to talk, that likes to be heard? Hear him out. If there's someone that doesn't like to talk too much, he's more straight to the point, be more straight to the point. You know, you got to find these key things to do with people. But ultimately, you have to be quiet and you have to be silent, y te tienes que callar, so that you're able to understand who it is you're talking to. You can't break someone down if you're the one yapping, because then you're not getting any information out of them. You know, you're the one selling yourself now, and that's not, I don't know. I don't find it like a good business option. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't go to a business meeting and just sit down and never say anything. No. But when you are going to say something, you got to make sure that you very much well know and understand what it is you're going to be saying, that you are informed and you know the subject you're talking about. And not only that, but you don't oversell yourself, because some people, they keep talking to the point where they lose their customer, they lose the client because they talk too much. They never got to the point, or they tried to oversell, or they kept talking past the point that was necessary. That is something very important that you need to understand, is when to talk, when to stop talking, what information to give out, what information to hold for yourself, because it's all a game. It is all a game. Yes, everybody wins, but someone comes out more benefited than the other, right? And my job, your job, should be to be the one that's the most benefited out of whatever transaction that you do, right? Those are some very key important things that you need to keep up here when talking. Like, okay, what is he actually looking for? So what information does he need to make this sale happen? You know, don't go past that information. Don't try to do all this extra stuff. Don't outsell yourself, because then that's how you lose clients. Say what's necessary, say it with confidence and determination, and let them do the rest. You know, they're going to dictate whether they like you or whether they don't like you, whether they want to continue the conversation or whether they're done. You know, if they like you, they're going to keep talking. Hear them out. Get to understand them. If they don't like you, you can push a little bit, like, hey, like, so what are you thinking? You know, like, kind of what are your thoughts? Like, what can I do to make this happen with you? But don't give too much information. Don't oversell yourself, and don't try to do this manipulation type stuff that everybody wants to do. People think that sales is pressure. Oh, you want it now? You want to buy it now? How about now? Or why do you need to go talk to your wife? How about we do the deal now? This and that. No, like, if I tell you I'm gonna go talk with my wife, and you try to push it more on me, like, oh, well, what's your wife got to do with this? She has nothing to do with this. I just don't want to do it right now. Or I want to go and talk to my wife and hear what her opinion is. What is it to you if I want a second opinion from the person that I love? Like, what value do you have over my wife? You know, what are you going to tell me that's going to sell me, or is more important than my wife's opinion? You know, so this whole like, oh, if someone tells you that they want to go talk to their wife, or they got to think about it, you should try to say this. You should try to push this. Push them for what? They've already made their mind. You want to try to convince them? If you're in the sales world and if you're dependent on sales, go for it, right? It's your job. You have to. But if you're a business owner and you want to grow good clientele and you want to have good connections and a good, you know, loyalty with your customers, you got to learn to let them decide when they're ready. You know, hey, do you want to load today? Do you want to load this week? No? You don't want to load the pallets? Okay, no problem. I'll check up with you next week. I'll send them one midweek. Hey, like, I'm just checking up again. You know, I just want to make sure that everything's okay before we check up on Monday. Yeah, no, everything's good. Alrighty, no problem. That's it. I'm not trying to convince them, oh, why don't you want to load? Like, I could drop the price right now if you want the load. Like, no, there's no need for it. There was a need whenever we were desperate and, you know, we were close to losing everything and all that stuff. We got to sell low. We got to try to push people to buy and all this stuff. But the way we naturally run our company is just like this. You need a load this week? No. Okay, no problem. I'll check up with you on Monday. Sounds good. You have a good day. God bless you. Hey, good morning, Steve. Do you need a load of pallets this week? No, I think we're good. Alrighty, no problem. See you next week. That's it. And if they do, hey, how you doing, Steve? Hey, how you doing? How's the bee hobby going? Oh, it's going great. This and that. Oh, glad to hear. Do you need a load this week? Sure. Yeah, we'll take one. You know, sometimes they don't need any, but sometimes because they like doing all this stuff, or just because they're in a good mood right then and there, they buy loads. You know, we've had it happen to where like, you know what, I don't really need any right now, but I'll go ahead and buy one this week. We haven't bought one from you in a bit. Stuff like that matters, you know, and you don't build these type of connections if you're the one always talking and yapping. Kind of like what I'm doing in this video. I'm yapping a lot, you know, so we should probably start to close this video off and kind of follow our own rule set and learn how to shut up. So yeah, hopefully y'all did enjoy this first video here. You know, I really think this is one of the first key steps that you should learn before continuing on this business journey, you know, and I'm probably going to structure these videos to where like we learn things step by step, right? So today, this video, we taught you how to shut up. You know, maybe in the next video, we'll teach you, you know, how to probably sell or how to, you know, conversate or, you know, some sales tactics that you can use to where you don't have to be yapping all the time. But whenever you speak, whenever you talk, it's like a sword. It's sharp, you know, it's two-edged and it's straight to the point. It's a weapon that you use, you know, your mouth, your words should be short and powerful. I think that's a very cool way and a very good way of being an entrepreneur. You know, nowadays people tend to push, you know, trying to convince, trying to manipulate and all this stuff. It's not necessary. A good entrepreneur will sell with few words. And that's just the reality behind it. You don't need all these words, or you don't need to learn big words, or you don't need to learn all this stuff. The less you say and are able to sell, the better. I would love it if I could go to a meeting, just say the number and them approve it and just leave. That's my goal. You know, what are you looking for? I'm looking for pallets. Okay, great. Hey, this is my price. Oh, well, you're too high, this and that, and da 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 da. Just stay quiet, and let them talk it out. Listen to what their issues are, listen to what their problems are, what their needs are, and based off of that, make educated decisions based off of what you're hearing, right? You can't make educated decisions based off of something you do not know yet. And to get that information, you have to learn how to be quiet, right? You need to know and learn cómo callarte la boca, right? It's that simple. With that being said, guys, primero Dios, first God, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Stay blessed.